Oh yeah, She-Hulk. That's still on. I guess it only has like. Is it only one, or is it 8 episodes, or just 6? I can't remember. So there may only just be one more, I guess. And then they'll have their Werewolf by Night Halloween film, I guess. That's something. Yeah. So anyway, it's another failed episode. So it's trying to be funny, but can't land. Some of the humor in better hands could have worked. And it is the sort of thing that they would do in the comic books, but they navigated it well, and it still gave you a superhero story. So Supergirl, She-Hulk got to do superheroic stuff. She's only gotten to do kind of this stuff very briefly. I guess last week's episode she got to do more, even though they failed to make it make sense. It's like Wong didn't need her there, but she got to fight demons, so that's probably the most she's done. There was Titania. You thought there was going to be a battle with Abomination, but that was how they handled that. And then, oh God, the Wrecking Crew. Man. Now, most people have no idea who the Wrecking Crew is and all that, so it probably didn't really matter. It's just this weird gang with these glowing weapons. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, so it didn't really matter, but it's just a missed opportunity. And I'm thinking about it, even the CW does a better job than they did there. Imagine that. And that's probably true of the CGI as well, because I mean, it still stinks. And part of the problem is they did a better job on defining the model for the Hulk, of course, because they had actual really good CGI artists way back when. But apparently they've pissed off a lot of those guys since then. But also, it's the Hulk was involved in a lot of action and whatnot. So here, it's just this silly wannabe sitcom about a lawyer, and all that stuff. So this episode, yet again, of course, involves a case because Titania stole her name or trademarked it, and this is something that could actually happen in the real world, and apply it to all of this. But there is no superheroics at all. Titania is a woman that She-Hulk has fought, and they showed one brief battle at the outset of this series, and then that's it. Now it's this silly catty crap, and all the beauty products and stuff she's selling and all that stuff, because the writers can't think far beyond the little bubble world that they live in. So this is the type of stuff they know, makeup and girls being catty, and because their minds have not progressed beyond the age of 14, and that's true of Jen Walters. All of this is the concerns of a girl in high school, except she's in her mid-30s. So yeah, but for whatever reason, you could chalk it up to a pursuit a career or whatever, and couldn't land a family or anything, and feels bad about it. They don't really approach that, but that's what it is. And but she could be distracted by the superheroics. She hasn't done any of it, not really. Which is why the business with Wong and battling the demons was just didn't come together at all. They just throw it in there. Because again, Wong didn't need her. You see how he wrapped it all up, and but they were trying to be silly, but they weren't thinking, and they still aren't. So, and then the men she dated show up again to testify that she did indeed use the name and all that, and so they try to, and the occasional little jokes here and there, but they just can't land them. And there's funniness about how she's embarrassed about the language she used on the dating app to try to attract men and all this stuff, but she had to put it in before the court because, well, she had to prove that she actually did use the name and all this stuff. I don't think the case is all that valid, and in fact, I don't know. I mean, I guess Titania could claim the name. you know. But I'm not being paid to do a show, so I'm not going to do the research. They should have done it. It just doesn't sound likely to me. But whatever. But did you get a She-Hulk versus Titania? No, you didn't. You didn't. You got this stupid script written by people who despise the whole concept of superhero stories, which is why they shouldn't be doing this show. But I don't think they would be very successful at any show. If this was just an Ally McBeal ripoff, it would be seen as such and fail immediately. And that's that. They steal other stuff here in it. So the problem with She-Hulk's clothes, she's only got, I guess, the one big suit that's, made for some big man, but it's the only one she can fit in when she changes, because all her other clothes would be torn to shreds. It'd be terrible to see that. So, of course, there's this underground fashion designer of superhero outfits. And so they go through there, they do some gags there. Fortunately, they do it through her gal pal, whose name I can't recall. And you could make a sitcom out of this actress. She seems to be able to do this. But, I mean, the character's written that way. And so, I know Tatiana's talented, but they just aren't writing anything good for her here, where she's supposed to be sympathetic, but she's, self-absorbed and just miserable all the time. But anyway, none of the jokes really land, not very well. And so there's this guy who's a collector of superhero memorabilia, and I know a guy, and they go in and they meet the guy, and it's a stereotypical gay fashion designer guy, but he's basically ripping off the fashion designer lady from The Incredibles, who did all that stuff way better. And here, once again, they don't think this through about, like, oh, he's like too cool for the room and doesn't have time for She-Hulk and all that. You actually got She-Hulk. She comes in standing there, and they convince him this could be a challenge for him to make a suit for her. So I'm guessing that's how she gets her suit. That's the the white and purple suit that she typically wears. So, okay, fine. But the idea that he's too busy with her because he's got all these other clients. What other clients? Or they show these other suits sitting around. The problem is none of the Avengers needed him. Tony Stark certainly didn't. So, Spider-Man didn't. Tony Stark had that covered. It's just, but it's done for the laughs. That is, oh, darling, I don't have the time. I'm special and I'm amazing and all that. So it's, that was supposed to be funny. It fell flat. So anyway, he designs the suits for her, but most of them are just, they look to be similar to the business suits that she wears in there. And she wants to look impressive because the lawyer that she has to hire dresses really well and looks cool. Although she wears dresses, she doesn't really appear to be wearing the pantsuits or whatever, but I don't know, whatever. And so she's has some sort of platonic crush on her, or maybe more. Who knows? Whatever. So she gets the line of suits, and she's all excited, so she wants to put them on, and she dashes in there with the curtain still wide open, starts changing, but it's okay because the fashion designer, he's not into that. So then the camera pans for the big tease. No, not She-Hulk in the nude. It's a big tease for Daredevil. No, he's not in the nude, but his yellow helmet is sitting in a box. So this is the guy who designs his yellow suit. Now, Daredevil originally, for a brief moment in time in the comics, had a yellow suit. And I always thought the joke was because he's blind, he doesn't know that his suit looks like. They quickly changed it to an all red suit because, the guy's name, Devil, is in the name, and they thought, yeah, it's much better. So I'm guessing they'll get him there, but for the sake of being silly, to really make him a Marvel character, which is just going to destroy what was built in the Netflix series, that's what they're going to do, I guess. So anyway, that's all That's all there was to see there. Daredevil's helmet in a box. No, I don't mean it like that. Well, anyway. So, that's about it. It wasn't a very good episode. Again. Yeah. That's too bad. Oh, yeah, and men are trash. They're all trash. Even the guy she kind of sort of liked, he came back, but then he openly admitted he would not have been interested in Jennifer Walters. And that hurt, because she still kind of likes him. But then her new gal pal said, "You're better than him." And she's like, "Yay." There you go. There you go. You feel better? All right.